All right, thank you. And sorry for the delay. We weren't sure if we were live streaming or not, so kinailangan naming humingi ng confirmation from those who are watching. Yes. Anyway, we're ready to go. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Um, Thank you also to our online community for sharing this event. No? So there seems to be a lot of interest about this topic that we have for today, Ma'am.
Yes.
So it's been such a long time since we had an FB Live event. I think last year pa yung last. So I think it's about time for us to have a
Yes.
conversation again, especially with what's happening in our
Yeah.
country right now. In our country right now, and you don't have to look further; just look at the news, and I think everyone can relate to the confusion, the frustration, the sadness, and the anger. No? So I think from our point of view as a psychologist, it's a good time to share what we think and maybe also talk about how we can take care of our mental health better. So
Yeah.
just to kind of share with you some reactions when I shared the post. Na. So a friend of mine actually said, honestly, parang kailangan mag-tune out from the news altogether. Brings nothing but anger and sadness. Grabe. Makakapatay ka talaga. Baka na-desensitize na ako. Hoping that's not too bad. So, ramdam na ramdam yung frustration and yung all the mixed emotions that we're feeling right now. And I think it's good to talk about it, to figure out how we can take care of ourselves. No? But just to give background to just a short background about why we chose this topic. No? Um, as you can see, it says, "What is happening to our leaders? A conversation about the impact of the political climate on our mental health." So the first line, actually, what is happening to our leaders? When we discussed having this FB Live topic, we thought about this title because it feels like it reflects all that frustration and confusion that we're feeling right now. Like, what is happening to our leaders? No? So there's that tone of frustration talaga, and we hear it everywhere, online, in person with our friends and families. So we hope that you get something from our conversation today. Of course, I am joined by my mother, Dr. Hani Karandang, who,
Hello. Good morning, everyone. Thank you.
yes, thank you, Mom, for joining us.
You.
Of course, you know that she is the president and founder of MLAC Institute, and also a well-known clinical psychologist who has pioneered in play therapy, family therapy, and has written so many books about Filipino families and psychology. Okay, I
Thank
think
you. Thank you.
yes. I'll stop there kasi baka hindi maubos yung oras natin sa
Yes.
introduction. All right.
Correct.
Okay, let's dive right in to the question then. It's a big question, Mom. So I think what is happening to our leaders? And I think underneath that question is also a question of how did we get to this point where there seems to be no respect for rules and laws? No? Yeah.
Yes. I think this is so crucial that we talk about it because it's affecting actually so many people of all ages in our country now. And I hear it all the time as you do. And I'm sure all the people watching also do. So what's happening to our leaders right now? As Chris mentioned, there's no more respect. Where's the dignity? And notice rule of law, etc. So it's really like a big disturbing, a very disturbing thing that's happening to our leaders. No? There are leaders, so it's really important that we talk about it and we bring it out and we see what we can do about it and how we can also not be too overwhelmed by this very horrible thing that's happening in our country and that's happening with our leaders actually. If you look at what's happening, the first thing that comes to mind is impunity. Okay, what's impunity? Meaning that they've gotten to this point where there's no more rule of law, no respect, nothing, no limit. because there has been no consequence for wrongdoing. I think that's a very basic statement. There's no consequence for wrongdoing. Literally and figuratively, people get away with murder, lying, manipulating, insulting, being violent to each other, and that's the worst thing that can happen to a human community. So it's something we need to really wrestle with, and talk about, and everything. Okay, consequence is one very, very important. No consequence, therefore, is I can get away with it. I'll keep doing it. I'll follow the one that gets the attention, the power. Anyway, I won't be punished. So related to even in very basic, even in parenting, no? So I think I'd like to bring up another thing that's related to this consequence. I'd like to bring up the very basic factor of discipline, no? Because I'd like to, for the sake of time, I'll do it briefly. I've formulated what is called the 5 C's, letter C, of effective discipline. Of course, one of them is consequence. Effective discipline requires that we have consequence for wrong behavior and consequence for good behavior, being affirming good behavior and punishing and noticing and stopping bad behavior. That's one. But there are other things about discipline that are related to this. One of the first C's of discipline actually is conviction. Where you are effective in disciplining children and other people, communities, etc. In the first place, if you have inside you already that conviction, that strong belief that this law is so important, it must be implemented, and I'll do everything in my power and get help for it to be implemented, because I have that strong conviction that is totally needed. We need this law. That inner conviction is not talked about, but that's the first step that we have to have. And if you want to translate it loosely in a political way, political will. Do you have the political will to implement it? Okay. Then another one is clarity. Are we clear about our laws? I don't think we are, as a general people in general, like me. There are certain laws I'm not aware of. Maybe there are laws that I'm aware of, but I'm not clear what they really mean. So I think we need to provide a venue or some kind of way to make people understand and make it clear that this is a law, and when you do this, you are punished in this way. So clarity is also essential in our disciplining, in our cultural milieu right now. Okay, and of course, very important is consistency. Consistency means when the bad behavior happens, you punish it again and again. You don't just punish it intermittently. That's one. But another meaning of consistency is very important in our country. Consistency means also that when bad behavior or wrong behavior is done by a person, the consequence, the punishment is given, whether the person is of high authority, rich, poor, whatever status that person has, there has to be consistency, which actually means fairness or justice. And I don't have to explain, and everybody knows that if you know people, if you're malakas, you are not punished. If you're just a common person who steals a piece of bread, you are convicted and jailed. But if you steal billions, because you're in high position, you have power, you are not. That there is no consistency at all. Okay, and then of course, another important thing is communication, which is part of that. How do we communicate? Use all the platforms now. There are so many platforms in communicating. Maybe instead of saying all kinds of things in our FBs, in our TikTok, maybe we could also focus on helping the legislators, helping the country able to communicate the laws that we have in a way that's understandable. I think we can all do that. And of course, the last one, which comes obviously is there but not talked about, is care. Do you care for yourself alone, or do you care for the people you're serving? Just a simple question like that. Do you care for the people you're serving genuinely? Of course, that's very, very concretely seen in parenting. You don't just punish because you're very angry with your child. You punish, or you scold, or you give the child consequence because you want him to learn, because you care. what comes to mind now is a very important, famous quote. I think it's Kennedy, if I'm not mistaken. Ask not what you can do, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Underneath that statement is care for the people, not just for yourself. Okay, I think that's very, very important. I'd like to just throw that in for people to think about in terms of what's happening.
Mhm. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you for clarifying that. No? So, mukhang all the things you mentioned, no? Which is underlying discipline. Actually, there are six. No? You mentioned consequence, conviction, clarity, consistency, communication, and care. And as you were explaining that, parang pakiramdam ko, parang hindi naka-check lahat yun pagdating sa at least the government, the state of the government right now, parang maraming kulang, no?
Maraming kulang
Oo.
talaga.
Oo.
I don't know if I can bring up the viral video that's coming. Kamustahin mo rin,
Go ahead.
pagkatapos ng sarili mo, pwede bang kamustahin mo rin kami? Nalulunod na
Mm.
kami sa baha, hindi na kami makakain ng mabuti. Kamustahin mo rin kaming mga tao, hindi lang yung sarili mo. Care for the people you're serving. I think that's very key now in the viral video that's coming out.
Yeah, as you can see, it's a reaction to parang bakit mo parang why are you nakatutok ka palagi? Parang masyado nakatutok sa concerns mo pero hindi mo ba nakikita yung effect sa lahat ng tao sa paligid, diba? Parang ganun yung yung pinanggalingan ng kanta na yun, no? That frustration.
Yes,
Paano
andyan
naman
naman.
kami?
Paano naman kami? Pagkatapos ng sarili mo, pwede bang kami naman?
Mm-mm.
Ganon. Care
Uh,
naman for us. Okay.
Yeah. So right now there are a lot of people coping through the arts and doon nila nilalabas yung mga
Yes.
naramdaman nila, no? Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to also emphasize that because in terms of still having hope in our hearts in spite of this, I see a lot of creativity of young people who are so talented. For example, this video, so beautifully done, music, words, and perform very well, but the meaning is so clear, and so the delivery of the message is so effective. So it's through song, maybe dance, and poetry, art. I think we can also use what's natural for the Filipino to communicate this feeling, and maybe even to later on see what we can do together. Let's use the platforms that are being used negatively. Let's use the same platform and turn it into positive communication and messages. I think that's one thing we can do. The young people are very, very good at this. They're creative. They're experts in this digital world, and it is where everything is happening. So let's use it. Let's get their communicate their cooperation. Let's reinforce them. Let's nurture their talent, because the youth have the energy. They're the future, as we know, and they're involved. They're very involved in this. They're engaged. Actually, we don't have to engage them. So it's one of the hopeful things that are happening in our situation now.
In a way, they're showing us how to deal with it, how to transcend and cope with everything. No?
Yeah. Yes.
But balikan ko lang yung tanong about because you mentioned like parang kulang sa disiplina yung leaders or kulang sa pag-intindi sa disiplina. But we know that quote yung, diba, we elect the leaders that we deserve. That's often quoted, no? Siguro yung next question ko is why do we elect these kinds of leaders? Does that reflect something about us as well, diba? I mean,
yes, we have to accept that. We have to accept
why
that.
do we keep voting for leaders that are like this? Now, kulang sa disiplina or understanding about discipline.
Or even very corrupt. No? Why? Yeah, why are we caught in this web of the power of the more corrupt versus the sort of the good people, so to speak? No? I think that's a very good question. Quite complicated. I'll try to look at it in a more simple way. Number one is the people, for example, the last, for example, I can say, the Duterte administration was very clearly also helped to be elected by the media, the social media, the platforms. Again, they're very, very effective. The platforms that are dominating our lives, penetrating our minds, intruding into our lives and in our face. So that's very difficult to resist. That's one. But also maybe for example, but okay, that's happening. But why is it that in the last survey, I'd like to point out that there's hope in answering this, that in the last survey, usually the survey that is published is almost always followed by results that conform to that. But in these last elections, there was a break. There were two people who were elected who were not in the list at all, and there were a lot of people in the list who are usually elected but were not. And who did that? I think it's the first-time voters, the young people who broke that kind of a way of being persuaded to vote for these people. It's a lot of media work that we are bombarded with that also make us vote. For example, the name recognition, the bombardment of the name, etc. Number one. Number two, I want to say, and also it was also demonizing the past administration that helped elect the next administration. It was very clear that the demonized, and there was no response because the last administration, which was demonized to the highest degree, was actually very different. In fact, it was a good administration in the sense of we were on top of the economy, we were economic tiger, and corruption was not as, of course, there is corruption, but definitely I can say with all conviction that it's not at the same level as the conviction, as the corruption and all the lack of dignity that's happening in this particular time of ours in our history. So that's one. And also lack of information. The lack of information about the people who are candidates. Lack of communication also as to how do we communicate to the younger, the older, that kind of thing. I think we have to look at the machinery also. Of course, we cannot deny the power of money. Okay, so when we talk about the power of money, why are people being bought by money? When they are given 500 pesos, they are compelled to vote for this person whom they may know is not good. Why is that so? Then we go to another level, which is a great need, which is poverty. The need 500 pesos is big for me. So it gives you that gives a person a sense of gratitude, utang na loob, because one of the core values in our society is utang na loob. Utang na loob is good in itself, but when it comes to the extreme, it becomes really detrimental to the good of society because they gave you money, even if they're corrupt, or they'll give you money so that you'll do this. So there's really a lot of that kind of examining the core values. I think we can. I remember during the time of Senator Letty Shahani, we did a very big paper on the values of the Filipinos, for example, and how they can be good and bad. For example, family value is very good, but if you put it to the extreme, you will only care for your family, but not care for the others. So, in other words, if you're in position, you'll give everything to your family. That is also political dynasty into family and not to other people, because your family, the importance of family is the only thing that matters. But it has to be a balance. So what came out in that survey, very big survey, was that we have to make sure that our values are maintained in a way that is balanced. We don't go to the extreme. Utang na loob can be really bad when it's carried to the extreme. I'll vote for him no matter how corrupt he is. May utang na loob ako dyan. Ginamot yung tatay ko. Binigyan kami ng peras para sa bahay namin. So that leads to a lot of such big rooms, space for corruption. Very, very big space for corruption. So education of the voters also in a different way, maybe using, again, media, the most effective platform, but actively countering the bad propaganda that is making people vote for the wrong leaders.
Yeah. Well, thank you for laying out the context. I think it's important for us to take a look at the context, Ren. Like what you mentioned, napaka-powerful ng social media. You mentioned how there's a lack of information, but there's also a lot of fake news going around. So right at the moment, right now, it's hard to determine ano bang totoo, ano bang hindi totoo, diba?
Wow, yes,
So
yes.
kung hindi mo alam kung anong totoo, paano mo rin mababase, how can you base your decisions on, the values that you have if you don't know
Yes,
what's really going on, Ren?
That's a big problem and a very, very big factor. Fake news. It's hard to tell. I don't know how to discern, but maybe we can also know that there are certain groups that are really reliable. For example, I'll say Rappler. Me, I can rely. I'll see Rappler if it's true, or some newspapers may be more reliable than just Facebook. Fake news is so common.
Yeah.
And discerning it's hard to teach people to discern the fake news because they are so expertly done, so convincing, and so real looking. They really look so like a person who is in the news, which is fake news, is so much like that. I mean, there's no way you can tell that the person is not that person.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard. But then another thing, always it comes underlying what we're talking about, everything, is what are the core values we want to recognize and we want to nurture in our society, in our young people, in our children. It's hard, no? Now, how do you explain that to the young people when all they see in the role models are the evil things going on around us right now, with loss of dignity, loss of human compassion? It's all the negative things we don't want our children to emulate. So the first thing I would like to say, obviously, and maybe I don't know, I might be in danger for saying this, but first thing I will tell my children and the children I'm helping is these are the things you are very clear that you should not be doing. These are the wrong things. So let's look at what are the opposite, which are the right things. Because it's right there. You're gonna say, don't do this. You're gonna say, what's that? Because the impact of that is so powerful. You almost say, what? It's so powerful. Now I go to mental health na siguro, but because for example, even a 12-year-old girl who came to me said, I'm so stressed. I'm listening to what my parents are talking about, and then I look at turn on the TV and all that, and then even if I look at the like the games, etc., I cannot help hearing these things, and my parents are so tense about it. My family fights about all these political things, and so she feels really, and she said, my heart is palpitating. It's beating so fast, and I'm getting so stressed. I don't want to take this to do this anymore. I think I will hide or something like that. Look, that's a young child. That's a young person. I feel the same way as an old person. Okay, 82. I don't want to watch I want to stop watching those. I really literally get out of the room when my husband and I are watching, because I cannot stand the stress that it gives to my body and the disturbing thing that it pours into my mind. So it's really affecting our mental health in a big way. And I think we have to acknowledge it. First of all, acknowledge it. Don't say, walang effect yan sa akin kasi mga gago yan. No, the mere fact you say that, there's an effect. So instead of denying it, let's accept that there's a big effect on our mental health, and then maybe talk about what we can do about it as a people together.
Yeah. Mm-mm. So it really,
Way na ako.
yeah, it really, well, number one, you mentioned how it's really natural to feel all these feelings when we're watching the news, no? In a way, it's very traumatizing. It gives us
Yes.
maraming mga comments rin sa Facebook page natin na parang I feel hopeless, I feel frustrated, no? So
Mm-mm.
pag uh, when I look at that and go back to what you said about acknowledging it, it seems like you're connecting it to how when we're feeling lost, I guess kaya
Mm-hmm.
siguro responsibility ng parent or nakakatanda na to also show some sort of guidance na kasi once you acknowledge and say mali yan, 'di ba? And talagang or kaya talagang natural yung effects sa'yo, magkaka-nightmare ka. It
Mm-mm.
it feels reassuring to hear that from someone you trust, from a
Yes.
parent. Oo.
Yes.
Na parang okay, may guidance ganun.
Mm-mm.
So parang a lot of what you're saying has to do with examining the core values that we uh, pass on to our children.
Yes.
Yeah, and for all those, of course, who have been following MLAC for a long time, I think they know your quote, na parenting is nation building, and how
Yes.
why you believe that, and that's why our advocacy is really to focus on families. Kasi dito nagbubunga lahat ng yung values or yung proper discipline, diba? So,
Mm-mm.
kung paano
Sakto.
ka pinalaki, diba?
Yes, kayo parang obviously, bakit sila ganun? Ang susunod na sagot mo, kasi ganun sila pinalaki. And it makes a lot of sense.
Hmm.
So, paano sila pinalaki? That's where we so how can we now instill strong core values? Dignity, integrity, truth telling, respect. Those are values when I was growing up that we would look up to. Our senators would be so honored because they had those values. Sorry, I really felt that. And when you see somebody like a child, this is true, like a child uh, exhibiting such integrity and intelligence and confidence, sasabihin ng mga matatanda, pwede mag-senador yan. Oh my God, it doesn't hold true at all na wag kang mag-senador kung ganyan ang behavior, di ba? Wag na lang. So, see the difference because I saw the evolution from the no television to the, I mean, you see how different generations and how we have come to this so low.
Mm-mm.
We've gotten so low as a human society.
Mm-mm. So
So,
it really feels like there's a degradation in terms of values.
yes.
Mm,
And
okay.
that's when, as you said, parenting comes in. Parenting is nation building. For example, in parenting, we have the concept of intergenerational pattern, wherein you're parenting the way you have been parented, whether you like it or not, unless you become aware and you start to be mindful and you change and you ask yourself which ways that parents discipline me where I follow because they're good, because you have already your critical thinking. But why is intergenerational pattern so strong? Because when you're a very young child, and this goes on, and this is related to society, when you're a very young child, you don't have the critical thinking yet. What happens is you absorb values, you absorb ways, habits, ways of relating to people in a way that is effortless, total with your total being, non-critical, effortless, subliminally, and very deeply. As a young child, you don't question. You only start to question when you develop your critical thinking, which is somewhere pre-adolescent, adolescent, or now maybe earlier. But as a very young child, you absorb everything totally, completely, effortlessly, non-critically. So it's right there. You don't even have the words for it, but it's inside you. So what happens is it stays there until you're 18 unless you do something about it. So that also goes with what we should be doing with the anti-dynasty law. It has a deeper basis, no, the anti-dynasty law. Why are they? Well, of course, to keep the power, but how come the children are so much like their parents in terms of their political whatever, and they cannot let go of the position because, they feel the same way, their values, etc. I'll be like that, etc. Because of the way that young children are absorbing or absorb values, ways of doing things, habits, way they treat people, lack of kindness or kindness, etc., truthfulness or lying. That's very, very strong. And we just need to know how to break it. And I think this big lesson, that this big fiasco that's happening in our society now, is a big, big wake up call. Let's get to the bottom of it. Okay? What's happening there? Okay, consequences, etc. Let's go back. How do we trace it? How do we have hope that in the future it doesn't stay this way, that it can change because we know what's happening, we know how to do it, we are aware, and have the conviction to do it. I think we need to really look at that now, because this is something we can no longer just even, we cannot ignore, we cannot look away. We are already bombarded. Even if our eyes are closed, our mind is already troubled. We are palpitating, we are stressed, and all that. It's so big. We cannot not learn from it. We cannot not make any change because of it. We have to make changes now because of it. We can look at it in a more, maybe what you call that, bigger perspective, in a perspective that's wiser than human perspective, to see that this means something in the course of things in the long run. It means wake up. Hey, this is the worst thing. You're digging your graves. The pit is so deep, so deep, so deep. Let's do something about it. The message is so clear to different ages, parenting, and then groups, civic groups, education. In the teachers can also do a lot of this in the formation, values, etc. In the way they discipline the students, the whole society. I think we have to really make a statement, state the truth, accept it, and then together see what we can do about it. There's no other way to respond to this big, big, big disturbing phenomenon in our society right now.
Yes, thank you for that, actually. And when because you connected it to what we can do in our families, and for example, what teachers can do,
Yes.
you make it feel like there is something that we can do. It's not just like on a big scale, but on a smaller scale, but even as important, no, as the
Yes.
values in family. Because if you look at it, no, you don't even need to be a psychologist to see the parallelism, di ba? Kunyari, kung ang natututunan ng bata is pinagtatakpan siya pag may ginawa siyang mali, di ba? So, matututo siya paglaki niya na maghahanap siya na may magko-cover, may
Yes, which is
sasalo sa
happening
kanya.
now.
Diba? Oo, pagtatakpan. Kung ang paniniwala ng bata ay okay lang yung disiplina na harsh, na saktan mo, di ba? It makes sense rin na, well, pwede tayong bumoto ng isang political leader na ganun rin yung tingin sa disiplina, di ba? Kailangan patayin, kailangan, di ba?
Murahin mo, pahiyain mo,
Oo,
ganun.
yun, magmura. So, it makes sense na may connection, and the way you emphasize that how important it is, parang it makes us see that there are things that we can do in our
Yes,
families, in our small communities, in our circle.
thank you. Yes, in fact, that is the first step,
Mhm.
because we can do it right away, and then we can also do other things like lobbying, etc. Those are already the next step. But right now, we can do something with our children, for our children. Do the truth telling, for example, reward truth telling, and punish in a way that's firm, effective, but not humiliating, not hurting, etc. There's so many things we can do right now that will prevent this thing that's happening there to continue to last, so that we can also change it. We have the power to change it. Another power is, of course, gathering in a community, like-minded people who understand the situation, come together, have yourselves heard. Sometimes there are, in rallies, for example, there are young people who compose songs, and then the songs are sung and they affect everybody. It's very because we cannot allow ourselves to be totally disempowered by this. And we are not. There are many ways we can do, maybe not immediate. Of course, the first immediate thing is what I bought in my t-shirt, ikulong ang mga kurakot. That's the basics. That's the most, sana mangyari yun. Or we can, for that, rally for that. Of course, that's the other level. But we have to look at this whole thing in a very, very comprehensive and big perspective, because we can do something. When we look at it in a bigger perspective, we cannot be just powerless. We know we can do something as parents, as teachers, as older people, older siblings, or uncles, people like that. We can do a lot actually in our own sphere, and that doesn't mean that it stays there, because when they grow up and they take positions of power in businesses, in schools, in the government, you have planted it. You have planted that seed. The core value, which is actually integrity. Integrity is wholeness, not just honesty. When you have integrity, you can be who you are, wherever you are, whoever you're with. You can, if you're with corrupt, you won't be corrupt, because what happens when you have integrity, when something's happening, you have to make a decision. You go inside yourself, look at my core values. That is the basis for decision. You don't get carried away by all these corrupt people. If we can have that kind of way to raise our children and to practice it ourselves, that's big. Having integrity, being able to stand on your core values without being carried away by these powerful so-called people who are corrupt. Wow, that's big. That's really big. We can start now where we are.
Yes. So if we all do it together.
Together, and believe in our beliefs are strong, and all that, and reinforce each other, we encourage each other. I don't know. I think we can still do it. We can still do it.
Yeah. Speaking of things that we can do, merong suggestion dito sa comments natin.
Okay.
I think this is from Lynn. Voters education should be integrated in the school curriculum from the basic education level. Make it a part of their subject matter. Pwede comic style. That's a creative way also.
Galing. Very, very good. I think that's a fantastic idea which can be implemented. We can, we're talking now to, who's the head of education now? Is it Wayne Gatchalian? Is the chair? I may be mistaken.
Hindi ko na alam kasi palit-palit.
Hindi na nga pala. But I think we can make a dent in the educational system. Parents can make a dent in the educational system. The teachers, of course, make a power to do something in the educational system. Maraming mga systems yun.
Yeah. And then there's a question here, I think very important question about balancing mental health. So the question is from Kat Munoz. With the current political climate and how emotionally exhausting and disappointing everything feels sometimes, how do we balance protecting our mental health while still staying informed and involved? Is it okay to step back from the noise for our peace of mind? Or do we still have a responsibility to keep engaging and makialam despite the stress?
Beautiful question. I wanted to say something about that, and she said it very well. Yes, the balance is listening to your body, wanting to know because you want to, you care, might be able to contribute, and you know what's happening. That's one part of it. But the other very, very important part is if you're really feeling stressed watching it, your responsibility to the country and to yourself is to take a break. That is your duty to yourself and to the country, because if you're so exhausted and listening and just overwhelmed by the negative, you cannot be of help to anyone, even to yourself. So it is thank you for bringing that up. I was going to say that. Please take a break as much as you can. Don't worry, you will not lose much. You will gain so much, and you will be able to sustain your need to know and need to be informed so that you can also help in your own way. If you don't take a break, you don't take care of the stress that's really so strong right now in our bodies, in our minds. Our minds are so active, hyperactive, and so disturbed and confused and unfocused, distracted. Our bodies are so stressed. Our hearts are palpitating, our stomach and a headache, etc. All of that, mind, body, spirit, affected. No? So knowing that, just immediately act on it. just go away from the source of that barrage. Go out to take a walk in nature. Go out, go to your room if you don't have any space outside. Put up a song and dance and all that. Those are not foolish things. Those are very, very important expressive arts for taking care of oneself. We use actually in MLEC, we use expressive arts therapy, even for the traumatized and for those who really are very suffering a lot in terms of their mental health.
Yeah. And in relation to that, there's another question, Ren, about how it affects us. There's a video that explained that due to chronic stress of the population, due to poverty and corruption, we have given up independent thinking as a people due to exhaustion. So we resort to the easiest way out, vote
Galing.
buying, normalizing corruption. Could you please comment on that? That's from Yao Hazel. Parang burnout yung dating na.
Ganda. Oo.
Yeah.
And you first statement again, ang ganda eh.
We have given up independent
Yun.
thinking.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's a very important phrase. We feel that we have given up independent thinking because we're exhausted, because we are totally barraged and overwhelmed. So how can we think independently? It's just human. No? So I think the first question also applies to this. Take a break. Listen to listen and do something about the stress level of your body, mind, spirit. Because remember, that's also, as you said, Chris, might be a sign of burnout, because burnout has many signs. First, it starts in your body, then it starts in your feeling like I can't do anything, I give up, feeling of lack of ability to do things, lack of agency, as they call it, feeling like, wag na lang, I can't do anything anyway, giving up. No, I'm so glad you brought that up, because when we reach, first of all, we don't want to reach that point. We may not be able to help ourselves not reach that point if we take breaks as soon as we feel the stress. That's one. But if we're there already, and many of us are there, I think we have to really pause. Do something to nurture ourselves first. Like maybe, what do you like? Do you like to go out? Do you like to eat ice cream? I don't know, whatever it is. You want to sing? You want to just be in a quiet room and put music, coloring, dancing, listening to beautiful music, things like that. Those are nurturing things that we need to do for our own survival. It's almost today now, it's almost like survival. It's not a luxury, no? And for children and even adults to play, just to play with children, to play with the dogs. I mean, to play. Play means you freely do something for its own pleasure, not for any goal. So if you feel like that, like that, just do it. Or sometimes I just go dancing like that. It's really helpful. It's not just a diversion. It's also a way of nurturing the body and the mind. So thank you for those questions. Are so beautiful, so good. I mean, the very, very good questions. I'm so glad we got them. Yeah.
Yeah. So in short, it's totally okay to step back and take care of ourselves. It's not a selfish thing to do.
Yeah, it is also a duty.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not, I think it's not even just okay. It is a responsibility we have to do for ourselves, which will in turn be good for our children, our family, and our country.
Like what you always say in your talks, no? Rest is a moral obligation.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Yes, okay, good. You said it. Rest is a moral obligation.
Yeah.
Also, just to add to that, when you're not rested, you're stressed, you're easy to anger, you can't do things the way you want to do things, the good way. So you also make people around you miserable. You stress them too. So it's not just the responsibility, the obligation is not just, it's moral and social, not just personal.
Yeah.
As Chris said, it's not selfish. It's your way of helping the world.
Yeah. Ano maalagaan ng ibang tao kung hindi mo naalagaan yung sarili mo?
Hindi kaya, hindi pwede.
Okay. Earlier, you mentioned something about children. We have a question here. Maybe a lot of people are also asking this. This is from Teacher Tanya, who has been
Yes, thank you, Teacher Tanya.
a guest in our conversation. Sabi niya, how do we explain what is happening to our children?
Oh, yeah. How to explain what's happening to our children? I think first we have to state it clearly that what's happening, the bad behavior, is not is bad. Clear. There's no buts about it, and we must not imitate it. We must not follow it. It's an example we know we must not do. Maybe we start with that. But how do we explain it? Maybe we can explain it using our parent, being a parent. Maybe like so. Maybe when they were children, they were not using your own power as a parent to even give a message by saying that maybe their parents did not teach them the value of dignity. Maybe when they were being punished, they were shouted at, they were humiliated. Maybe, I'm not sure, but that could lead to this kind of behavior, that can explain this kind of behavior. So now, what we're doing is, as me, as your parent, we're preventing you and maybe other people we can help to not become like that. They're like that because also, the way they were disciplined, the way they were treated, maybe they were not also given due respect by their parents. I think we can use that because that is also what as a parent, I would do. And to emphasize that we can do something about it. We can, even as children, you've gotten from your parents that you respect other people, so you can also be an agent of that, or you can be a truth teller. And for example, in the school, when your friend is being bullied, you say that's not right. That kind of thing, not humiliated, that's not right. You have also power as a child to do something about it, because that bad thing that's happening now can be prevented by how your parents bring you up, what they teach you, what they tell you, how they behave, and you absorbing it, you become also a person who helps others. And I remember a 10-year-old girl was so happy because she was able to help a classmate who was being bullied.
Mm.
And it gives you a good feeling also to be able to have that power to help somebody.
Mm.
Yeah.
So as parents, we really have that responsibility, and it's really whatever our however we act, however we behave, no, we're modeling it to our kids, which is
Yes.
we need to be more aware of that as well. Kung nagmumura tayo, 'di ba? Or kung ano yung
Yeah.
paraan natin, how we treat other people, 'di ba? Kids pick that up right away.
Very, very big, more subliminal, rather than say respect other people. That may not work, but when they see you respecting other people, you don't have to say anything. It works better.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
more effective. So that power is in our hands too.
Yeah.
You can prevent future fiasco that's happening now.
Mhm. Yeah, just to share a personal thing that baka matuwa yung mga nakikinig sa atin. Just wanted to share, I remember when I was much younger, siguro less than 10 pa or somewhere there, na may kinuha ko yata yung batteries ng remote control ng TV. Tapos ginamit ko siya for something. Until now, naalala ko na you you didn't let that go away. It sounds like such a small thing, pero you told me, and hindi yung paggalit or anything. You just told me na I shouldn't be doing that kasi that's also not mine. The batteries are not mine. Ganun kasimple lang, pero I still remember that up to now.
Yeah, I'd like to emphasize that because many children tell me that, not children, young adult tell me that they remember concrete things like that and they treasure it. It's very important for them to go back to something like that as a way of strengthening, the values that they have now. And I'm so glad for that. Thank you for reminding me.
Thank you for doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to shout. You can be more firm and more effective. Example lang, I hope we have time, but just example. One of my kids, I won't mention who, wanted to violate a rule. I think it's older na pero hindi pa pwede mag-drive. Can I use the car? shouting from the top, from the across. Man, can I use the car or something like? Can I use the driver? And there was a rule already, and the rule is very clear. On certain days you cannot. So it was a Friday, I think. You cannot. So said, "Can I, mom?" And then I said, "Come here, come here." Then I put your ear near my mouth. And I said, "No, absolutely not." Okay, okay, mom. So the whisper that is so firm is so much more effective than saying, "Oh, hindi mo pwedeng gamitin ng kotse, hindi pwede." Even your modeling of how you say it is not so nice. But when you just whisper something firm and clear, conviction with conviction clarity, you are more effective.
Mhm. So hindi kailangan na pasigaw. Actually, pwede maging firm without
Effective.
and effective at the same time.
Yes, your
Yeah.
firmness is the most important thing, and your firmness is because you have a conviction to begin with. That's very strong.
Mhm.
Children smell tentativeness like a dog smells fear. So if you're very clear, you have a lot of conviction, and you're very firm, your whisper is very effective.
Mhm.
Okay.
We have just a few more minutes left,
Okay.
but there's this very
Yes.
insightful comment online. Maybe I can share it. It's
Yes.
from Isa M. Armovit. She says, in practical terms, Filipinos can contribute by becoming informed citizens, supporting ethical organizations and leaders, volunteering, mentoring the youth, strengthening families, and building communities rooted in trust and cooperation. Even in difficult systems, people who live with integrity, courage, and hope become quiet forces of change. History shows that nations improve not only through grand revolutions, but through millions of ordinary individuals choosing to do what is right consistently and conscientiously. Very well put. Thank you for that.
Wow, thank you for summarizing everything in such an effective way. Said it more effectively than anything I've said. So fantastic. Thank you so much. Wow, that's great. Can we make a poster of that? Oh, we can post it.
I think
Can
the
we post it? Ask
with the permission of
with the permission
Miss Isa.
we can
Maybe.
post it once in a while. Things we can also post in our own platforms, things like that.
Yeah.
That one is it's postable. I mean, something I think we should post. Is that okay with Isa?
We can ask her. But
Okay.
yes, that gives us actually that
Another
gives
avenue.
us an idea na parang, I mean, this conversation can just be really a start, and we can think of creative ideas to
Right.
come
Continue.
together and
Yes.
do something and feel not helpless.
Exactly. That statement also makes us feel that we can do something. We are not helpless. We have the power to make a change. And that makes us feel good and feel empowered. And I think that's essentially what we need now. And also, I have a quote. Is it already time?
Go ahead. We have 2 minutes.
2 minutes, 2 minutes. Okay, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. What did I want to say?
But we started a bit late, the technical stuff. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay. But it might not be 2 minutes, maybe less, I hope. Okay. I was just thinking, I mean, all these things, no? The best gifts we can give to our children are self-worth, discipline, and dignity. And I think that is also what, not coincidentally, that is also what our country needs most today. Yeah, we'll end with that.
Yes, thank you so much. Actually, thank you for that. Thank you for helping us make sense of the chaos that's happening around us, reminding us that our reactions are natural and that it's important for us to be able to take care of ourselves, and also reminding us also of our responsibility as parents, as adults, to also be role models to our children. So I think in going back to the values, going back to integrity and dignity. So thank you for
And we have,
emphasizing that.
yes, and that power is in our hands right
Yes.
now. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I think with that we can end. It's 10:30, but just letting everyone know again that again, this could just be a start. if you have any ideas, you want to reach out to us, please message us. If you have any ideas of collaboration or collaborating with us, or like a project that you feel might also help in our advocacy
Or a
with
topic
regard
that
and the topic we talked about today,
we want to talk
please
about.
do so. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then sending again a thank you to everyone who's online. Thanks for taking the time this morning to listen
Yes.
in and tune in. And hopefully the next FB Live won't be after a year, but we'll have another one soon. It feels like
Y-
we'll probably need one
Yes, yeah, I
soon.
think
Okay.
so.
If
And thank you so
yeah,
much for being there, also for your wonderful questions that enlightened everyone.
thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks
Okay.
everyone. See you again. Thank you,
See you
ma'am.
again. Thank you, Chris.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.